Others are saying it's okay he screwed a 9-year-old because it was a different time. Okay, I could get maybe 13 or 12, but 9? I have no comment on like the religious thing. I don't know anything about that, so I'm not gonna comment on it. But like, this is quite the take. She was that girl. Yeah, no, this is her.
I wanted to ask you about one last thing. This comment I thought was interesting, and tell me what you think about it.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was, right? But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
Huh? She watched Roots and was like, slavery must not have been this bad.
So, in what way was slavery made to seem more horrible than it was?
We were talking about, and I don't really want to go into this too much because we're kind of past this, but I was quoting a Thomas Sowell book.
I'm personally... Of course she was. Of course she was taught. Of course she's quoting a Thomas Sowell book. Of course. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she? Of course. Why not? What proof did he give for that? None. She said it. She said it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's that?
Yeah. So
yeah,
Thomas Sowell is an author who talks about the history of slavery. So.
Thomas.
No, he's not. he's a washed up. He's a washed up. Isn't he a washed up economist? Isn't he not even a historian? Wasn't he an economist? Yeah. Isn't he a washed up economist who never really made it that big in the economy world? And then and now does hat tricks against like black people for the Daily Wire?
So do you agree with that premise that slavery was embellished or no?
I think that there are parts that are under embellished and there are parts that are over embellished. I think it just depends what we're talking about.
I'm sitting on the fence.
I gotta know what was.
I'm not gonna say a single word.
Just like one example. I'm dying to know.
Just one.
Yeah, I just rather. I mean, I was talking about a book that I read, and I think to understand, the
slave drivers are actually pretty nice.
You just said some parts were embellished, some parts were under embellished.
I just again.
Are you retracting that?
I'd really just rather not.
I'd really rather just not talk about incorrect things.
Slavery being embellished? That's so interesting.
It's pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy thing to say.
There are certain facts that we're not allowed to talk about.
Like what?
Like what?
I would love to. We're doing
say the thing.
We're mixing it up.
I'm talking.
Let's see the world as it is.
Taboo topics.
I genuinely want to know how it was embellished.
Yeah.
What can't we talk about? Come on.
I mean, I could show you the video I was quoting, but it's just I'd rather not get into this. So.
Sounds like a blue-pilled attitude to me.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to see the world how it really is.
I was kind of hoping this was like a good faith interview.
Wait, what's bad faith? I'm literally showing you clips of you saying stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. What about this interview has been bad faith?
I just think you're kind of trying to push an agenda, and you're not. Yeah, I just think you're trying to push.
That's a clip.
I think you're trying to push an agenda by showing people things that I said very confidently on my stream before. I think you're right. He is pushing an agenda. He's showing people what you said. A horrible agenda at that, apparently.
Of you saying that, you can disavow it. That'd be super easy to say I was wrong.
Just say
I'm quoting somebody.
Well, he's asked you about it.
I am quoting
Expand.
somebody. And now you're trying to pin me down about a topic that I don't dive into.
Hold on.
So it's like, that's not the point of my channel.
Okay,
the point of my channel isn't.
I know, but you said it. How is that bad faith? Hold on, let me see.
Because I was talking about how the founder of the Thomas Sowell talks about how the guy that made Roots talked about how it was a myth for his people to live by.
Okay.
That's what the guy who made Roots said, Alex Haley.
Okay.
So.
Let's see. Is there anything about this? The quote that she's pulling up, guys, the quote she's pulling up is from 1993. It's from 1993. I found where this was talked about. Here, let me see if I can show you. I found where this was talked about. As you can see, this is from the Chicago Tribune. This is a digitized this is a digitized version of their article that they ran in March 10th, 1993. Okay. Remarkable, is it not? All right, let's see. Where's the word myth? Here we go. Roots was a hoax. It was a hoax Americans wanted desperately to believe in, which is something more important about Americans than anything Noble says about Haley. I was trying to give my people a myth to live by. Noble quotes Haley saying, wait.
Okay.
That's what the guy who made Roots said, Alex Haley.
Okay.
Noble quotes Haley. Wait. As saying one point. This is somebody quoting. So she was actually looking at Thomas Sowell quoting Nobile quoting Haley. Okay. As saying at one point. Noble lets the point pass without comment, but as Joseph Campbell and other philosophers have written, people need mythology to give deeper meanings to their lives. Slavery was no myth, but before Roots, the mythology surrounding it was shaped largely by the one-sided fiction of Gone with the Wind. Romances. Roots touched a nerve Americans were ready to expose. Suddenly, white Americans were turning into the horrors of a period too many school books had tried to sugarcoat. Suddenly, Black Americans were asking their elders relentless questions about a past too many elders had been reluctant to talk about, and that too many of us, their children, were reluctant to hear. So does she know how the word myth is used? What he's talking about is like a mythology, a sort of like an idea, a story to kind of latch onto, the personification of things that happen. It's one thing to hear something bad that happened to somebody. It's another thing to see their face and hear it from them, or have it playing on a screen or something along those lines. Right? A myth actually doesn't even necessarily have to be fake. Like, I know we use myth as a sort of like Mythbusters and like Mythbusters, or like Mythbusters can tell you this. There can be a myth, something that's just told throughout time, a traditional sort of like saying or phrase or story that's handed down that we may not know exactly, but it's a story that we can all latch onto and believe. Having a story, having something emotional connected to something physical or something descriptive makes something way more palatable and understandable to people. A myth doesn't have to be fake. And on top of that, like, did Roots even talk about a specific person? What was Roots again? I never watched Roots. I don't watch slave stuff. That's for white people. Was Roots like a made up? Was Roots about like a made up slave character? Or did follow the story of like a made up slave character? It's a book. I know it's a book. Yes. So yes, this is a myth. So yes, the slavery happened. Holy crap, she's so stupid. Holy crap, she's so stupid. My man took a real story and implanted a fake character that could have gone through real things that actually happened in real life, and tried to make a story to make a myth about a real thing that happened. And now she's like, oh yeah, that means slavery was fake. Okay. That means slavery wasn't as bad as they say that it was. All right. Okay, Pearl. Very interesting, Pearl.
So, and I can't even talk about that on a podcast without being canceled by the internet.
Yeah, but mythology, myth doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie, right? Just because mythology is like a culture,
right, but
a
I'm
history.
saying that doesn't mean the way it's depicted in the movie was how it actually happened. And that's what he was talking about on the book. But again, I was quoting a book, and you're trying to like pin me down on quoting a book.
I'm just asking you questions about what you literally said. You literally said slavery was embellished.
The founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. Yeah. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish.
So then you say, but here's what they do.
And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible.
I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible.
But they want to make it more horrible.
that they can control people.
So that they can control people.
Right, but
Nick
5
Fuentes
minutes,
agrees,
but
by the way.
wait, oh my gosh. 5 minutes before I say Sowell talks about this in his book. So I'm communicating in the interview that I'm
No.
quoting an author.
You're not being honest.
Like-
you say they do this to. Okay, so you
But you believe it.
disavow it then. That's easy. Just say I don't think slavery was embellished. I mean, that's super easy. That's like a layup. Do you agree? You know what I mean?
She doesn't want to do it.
Just say you don't think slavery was embellished.
I think there are certain facts that you're not allowed to talk about. I don't really want to talk about it today.
But that Roots was.
I don't want to talk about the thing that I literally
again,
did.
There are certain facts you're not allowed to talk about, and I don't really feel like getting into it today.
Thomas Sowell compared
Okay,
Barack
buddy.
Obama to Adolf Hitler. Do you like that analogy? That's the author you're quoting.
That guy really seems to have a good head on his shoulder.
One-sided way to write his whole work, but he wrote like 100 books.
Oh, I'm just asking you, do you agree?
They're
with
all
that statement?
ass, so.
Barack Obama is comparable to Adolf Hitler.
No?
Okay. See, it's not hard. It's not hard. That's awesome. That's easy to do. You also said George Washington was
Thank
viewed
you.
from his slaves like a father.
Incredible.
I guess that's part of what the part of what the myth, I guess, is that not all slave owners were evil. Some were father figures like George Washington.
Such a good lad. What a nice boy. Ask her if she would be okay being George Washington's slave.
I don't remember. I think like if someone's a great and powerful man in history to the point like they're talking about him hundreds of years later, he didn't have any kids. But like,
Did he own slaves?
what?
Did he own slaves? George Washington.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, no romance to me. I'm just saying.
No, it's actually interesting. He had a different, like he inherited his slaves, and it wasn't as simple as he could have just like let them go, because the debt that's incurred on them, like you can't just release them. And so his slaves actually, like he had a really good relationship with them, and they considered him like a dad.
Ask her if she would be okay being George Washington's concubine slave. So you see how that works? It's Jover. It's so over. It's never been more over than this.
That was from a Thomas Sowell book.
Thomas Sowell.
You just love quoting Thomas Sowell, but doesn't agree with anything he says.
About supporting segregation in public schools. George Washington.
You want me to apologize? Like, you want me to talk about every single one of this man's opinions?
No,
you quoted it. Stop quoting things you don't believe. Then stop quoting things as a sort of as like a comeback or a response to things you don't believe. If that's what you genuinely don't believe, then stop saying it like you believe it. You know, when somebody asks me what I think about Jews, I just happened to start quoting Mein Kampf for no reason. But you know, whatever. Why would you say that I support? I just randomly like quoting Mein Kampf every time somebody mentions Jews. Whatever. Stop trying to hold me to other people's opinions.
Do you think racism was embellished? I mean, it's so easy. I mean, just say no.
I think there was a time where I started to read accounts from actual slaves. So these were like in like and you know, I can't really talk about this. Like, even if I talk about this now, they're going to clip it. They're going to say things I didn't say. But it's like, I used to.
Then why'd you start talking in the first place?
Read actual slave accounts, and I was surprised how many didn't say bad things about their owners after they were free.
Huh?
And it's not to say like slavery was a horrible institution, but I can't talk about that fact.
They could have been killed.
Canceled. I can't say, hey, these slaves had a good relationship with their owners.
Because it's not true. Because it's just not true. It's not true. George Washington was not a father figure to his slaves.
Well, if you look up like I think it was Booker
47. Let's see, 47 of George Washington's slaves tried to escape. Would you try to escape if you loved your master?
maybe that one was wrong. I don't know. This is like a little bit on a podcast months ago. I don't really remember, but
listen, he just helped them find their way home. They got lost.
Interview. At some point, but
they got lost after their berry picking session.
I'm not even allowed to have this conversation without.
What do you mean not allowed?
That, but I mean, we're giving you the.
I mean, I got months of backlash for this. I'm now like, you guys are kind of trying to do a gotcha moment.
No. I didn't know about the backlash.
Like, you know, I'm not really.
I never even knew about this when it came to Pearl. Actually,
like, I had months of people like, you know, it's like if I have this conversation, I had months of people calling my employees slaves. Like that's what
funny.
They call like.
That's horrible. Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Horrible.
But at the same time,
and like even the guy, and you know,
do your employees think of you as a mommy figure?
You're acting oblivious, so I didn't know that, but you do know that because the reaction you just watched was my former co-host who insinuated that my employees were being colonized.
Oh, I didn't know that. I promise.
So
I just wanted to get your take. Well, people say I just wanted to know what your thoughts are on this. That's all.
Yeah,
You did
I'm not,
literally
like,
say
my
it.
channel isn't about slavery. That's like a
I
fringe.
know.
Okay.
I want to know about you.
But I'm asking, like, why are you bringing this up?
That was
when
just
that's
a
not
painful
really what my
situation for
channel's
her.
about.
I
It's
can-
like you're
I can
just
only
I wonder
bringing
how
out
it was
things
for the
out.
slaves.
This is interesting. I want to ask you about it. Why do I can only ask you things in a confined space about your channel?
You can, but you understand how that looks to me. It's like you're just trying to pick out every single.
Listen, Pearl, to be
controversy.
fair,
You literally
to be
said it.
totally fair, you could just say, I don't think slavery was embellished.
She
Like,
just doesn't want to.
you were
Like,
just
that's
talking
super
about, you
easy.
research, like,
That's a layup for most people.
I was quoting a book. That's
Just
the
say
crazy
you
part.
don't
I was
believe it
quoting a
then.
book.
Just say it. Go ahead,
No,
Do
say
you
it.
agree with his statement, though?
Do I think overall it was embellished? Some parts, sure.
There.
Oh my
Which part?
goodness.
No, please tell me which part.
I
Well then you do believe
think
it. Then
that
stop
you can't-
complaining.
I think that certain slaves had good relationships with their owners. Not
I'm
all,
losing
maybe
my
not most, but I
mind.
think some did.
And that just
And there are accounts
I'm
of
losing it.
them saying this.
So some slaves had good relationships with their masters. Therefore,
And
slavery was
this is what
embellished.
you know how this is going to go for me. Like, I don't know why you're doing this.
You
You
know
know
how
I
this is
can't
going
have
to
this
go for me.
conversation without them painting it a certain
You
way.
know
Just
you
do
can't
it,
quote
just say what
things
you
I
want.
literally
mean,
said.
Just be red pilled about it.
It's so many issues.
Who is they? I don't know who's they.
Them.
Just your haters or someone?
The they thems.
The left.
The left.
Do they have parentheses around the they? Just wondering.
Like, I mean, you even
Couple
came in, like,
echoes.
you researched, like, my family.
I
Like,
mean-
that's weird.
She wouldn't have to put parentheses. They're right here. He was like, they're like the them. Holy crap, it is happening. Holy crap, it is happening. She is getting destroyed by the Jews. Oh man, just wait until oh man, no. Ethan and Dan are coming after him. Just wait until Zach starts playing sound bites to make fun of her too. She's getting jumped on by 3 Jews. It's the three thems. Holy Jew W.
How's that weird? It's all
They're
public.
public
It's stuff
figures.
you talked
Like,
about.
research
You literally
all the
talked
time.
about it. It's called preparation, which you clearly done. No.
I didn't.
Like, you
talk
literally
about
do
if my
no
mom-
preparation
I didn't
and you
talk
talk, like,
about. I didn't talk about if my mom was the president of, like, the
Where do we
company. You
find
would
that?
find that on their
I just
website.
looked it up. I said I googled who
Yeah,
are your
but that's
parents, and
not-
it popped right up.
Is that
Yeah,
They're
it's not
famous.
what they're
They're
saying.
relatively famous.
I didn't send a
He has
private
interviews on
investigator.
YouTube. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't send a private investigator to your house. I just did a little bit of research.
Public information.
Like, let me bring facts about your parents. To
You-
this
Okay,
thing.
go
You
ahead.
knew you were
You
coming to talk
can.
to
He's
me for
literally
weeks.
had his.
I've done that.
He had a
Yeah, I know, but I
podcast
thought
with
we
his
were talking
parents. You
about
can
the
do that.
issues, not like my family.
He had problems with his dad growing up.
Yeah,
I know that.
I mean, you were even implying earlier.
First of all, it is relevant that your mom is the president when you're
Bro,
talking about.
You didn't know any of the backlash I got.
Well, who cares? You said it. Just own it.
No,
Be
I'm
red
asking.
pill.
I'm asking. You didn't know any of the backlash
I
I
didn't.
got.
I didn't know about it.
No idea. Even though you got that from a video that my ex co-host made about me.
Right.
See, like, this is dishonest. It's not honest.
But what's the problem? You're getting backlash for something that
No,
you
but,
think.
But I'm
that
saying,
you think.
so you're
Well, I don't
like,
know. I don't know if
You're
one
not-
video
yeah.
means it was a whole bunch of backlash. How do you know you just had one
You brought
disagreement
your
with
parents
one
up when you were
person?
talking about hiring people, didn't you?
I said, I think it's a bit
You talk about your parents all the time. You talk about how your dad is rich. You did a tour of his whole barn with the bowling alley and fucking recreation.
She did a
stuff in it. Like,
tour
why am
with
I
his
not allowed to
dad,
talk-
with her dad, and she's like, "How did you
just
know?"
Said that you knew, like, because you got that clip from like
okay,
a
who
We're
cares?
not here to protect your reputation.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
We
Let's
don't
say
care.
I didn't know about it to the extent that it was such an issue for you, but let's just say it was. I mean,
I do have to go though because I have a show coming up. So
Okay.
let's just end on this note.
mhm.
Slavery was embellished because some masters had good relationships with their masters. Some slaves had good relationships with their
all
masters.
right.
But don't you see how
This
easy it is
is-
to just say, I don't think it was embellished?
Man,
I don't think it's a
you
secret.
guys
Wait.
act just like I've been preached.
Like,
you
Pearl,
act just like
You're
that.
just
Pearl,
like
I don't
average
think it's a
reach.
secret that some
Jews,
masters had good
blacks, they all
relationships with their
act
slaves. I
the
don't think it's a
same. There's something up with them. Am I right?
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on, but I'm gonna go. Thank you.
George,
Thank you.
okay, I appreciate you. Okay,
She hung up.
have a good night. Have a good night.
She hung up.
Whoa.
I just
Hey, love.
Whoa.
I just don't understand why you can't.
She was panicking at the end there. Holy shit. What the
Okay.
hell?
She was
First of all, I
losing it.
genuinely
She's
did
like, I'm
not
gonna get
know that it was such a
obliterated. I gotta get
sore
out
point
of
for her. I mean,
here.
it is a crazy thing to say.
I mean, she gets backlash all the time for all the things that she says. Why is that one such?
She was recently on Twitter asking about Islam and if Muhammad married a 9-year-old, and said that she doesn't really support marrying 9-year-olds, but she thinks it's more based than being like a trans supporting Christian. So so she's a She's a curious girl. She really is a curious one. That one really is a curious person. Quite peculiar indeed. I'm not sure how much she's tweeted since then, but let me see. Did Muhammad date a 9-year-old or not? Holy sh. Oh, wait here. Let me. Oh my God, I forgot about this one. Well, let me see if I can go all the way down to find this. Because this was June 6th through the 5th. Here, I should be able to find it if I scroll down far enough. Here, let me see. It's coming. Oh, it's coming. Wait a second. I'm almost upon it. Unless I don't think she deleted some of these, but we'll see. Oh my Lord. Okay, so we're torn on if Mother Teresa is a good person and if Muhammad screwed a 9-year-old. The Catholics are saying it's propaganda, so are the Muslims. Okay, guys, I meant it as in I thought people only lived to be like 18 back then. Chill out. Very feminine to denounce your friends on Twitter. I'm just asking questions. Now I'm being threatened for asking questions. Muslims are way more base than Christians, though. I will not take that away just because I'm asking questions. This one's the killer one. Others are saying it's okay he screwed a 9-year-old because it was a different time. Okay, I could get maybe 13 or 12, but 9? I have no comment on the religious thing. I don't know anything about that, so I'm not gonna comment on it. But like, this is quite the take. She was that girl. Yeah, no, this is her. Guys, I meant like I thought they lived till they were 18, so logically I would understand that you would like date a 12 or 13-year-olds. Get your mind out of the gutter about dating 12-year-olds. Okay, Pearl. Very interesting, Pearl. Sure. This is just insanity at this point. This is just, my goodness. Good golly, Miss Molly. My question is, why do half of Muslims say he didn't? Okay. Okay. All right. But yeah, that's Pearl. That's Pearl for you. Interesting woman indeed. If that's how you want to phrase it. She surely is something. Ethan did a great job, as he normally does in these debates. So I'm proud to call myself a Fupa Troopa at this moment. Thank you, Ethan. Incredibly cool. Pearly, stop speaking forever. I think Ethan really should have pulled out that goddamn malevolent shrine on her ass. Just eviscerate her. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. You gotta end it. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.